just enjoying and sharing the intersection of two of my favorite things, knitting and reading. When I went to the Watertown Free Public Library and found this book, Knitting in the Sun by Kristi Porter, I knew I had to check it out and share it with all of you. We've had a bit of a strange transition to summer here and a lot of rain in Boston, but I still am excited to go over the things that you can do knitting in the sun. Who would I recommend this book to? Anybody who lives in a warm climate, or anyone who can't imagine giving up knitting just because it's warm outside. Let's dive in and see what this book has for us. It opens with a spread of photos showing all of the projects, just like Knitting 24/7 did. I really like this because it gives me a chance to kind of see what all of them look like, or to know where to find it if I'm looking later for a project I liked but don't want to spend time flipping through the whole book to find it. Summer doesn't have to mean a pause to knitting, but it can if you want it to. And as Kristi Porter said in her introduction, truthfully, since most of us live and work in temperature-controlled environments, we all need knits that are comfortable to wear at 70 degrees. The stated goal of this book, as outlined in the introduction, is to create garments that provide coverage and style without extra bulk or too much warmth, as well as accessories that are just right for summer weather. The patterns in this book are inclusive, ranging from size extra small into plus sizes, and the finished measurements are provided for all patterns, and accompanying schematics provide more detail on the sizing if you want to alter a pattern for custom fit. So using the measurement and schematic information, you can mix and match to make the perfect garment for you. After the 2-page introduction, they jump right into the 6 different categories: accessories, sleeveless, short sleeves, long sleeves, cardigans, and odds and ends. Of the 30 options in this book, I'm just going to touch on the ones that I found most interesting or would be most interested in making myself. In the accessories, there is a sun hat that's lacy and uses elastic thread. I've never used elastic thread before, and I think it'd be very interesting to try this out. Plus, I would like to be a hat person, at least a summer hat. I wear hats in the winter for sure, but I have a desire to wear hats in the summer and I just don't. If you are good at wearing summer hats, let me know. The Bardini on page 11 uses a miniature herringbone pattern. I'd be very interested to try out this pattern, and maybe I'll make a tutorial of it. Let me know if you want it. Page 33 has the cinnamon bag. It is a bag that is also a beach blanket. I'm a sucker for multifunctional things, so this is interesting to me, and I'm also a little bit known for being a bag lady. I often have bags within bags, so this seems like the perfect project for me. In the sleeveless section, there's a smocking pattern that I'm interested in trying out. I like trying new stitch patterns and seeing how they might apply in different areas, even if I don't make the full project. Do you ever do that? Do swatches just to learn a new pattern? I hope so. I hope I'm not alone in that. In the short sleeve section, there's one shirt that I think is just really pretty and I would love to try it out. The Hollyhock on page 69. The Bay of Fundy also had some information about the yarn that they use that I thought was interesting and helpful when you're thinking about yarn to use for wearing in the summer. Here's what it says. Knit in a pure soy yarn, it's got the look of your favorite woolly top, but with the cool feel of a plant fiber. That's really fun when you can have something that looks like something else and people might think that it is too warm, but wearing it doesn't make you too hot. The long sleeve section has 2 stitch designs that I would be interested in trying out. The Puget Sound on page 87 has an elongated stockinette stitch, which I've never seen before and seems pretty cool. And the Montague has a ripple stitch that I think is very interesting. So I'm sensing a lot of swatching coming up in my near future. I'm not sure how to pronounce this exactly, but the Alishan on page 91, they had a really interesting idea that I had never thought of before. So they use double strands, but only for part of the project. So the main part of the body of the sweater uses a double strand, but the sleeves use only single strand. So it gives you some warmth in your core, but doesn't make the whole project as bulky or warm. The cardigan section had 2 tips that I want to share with you. One of them is about buttons. The Bridgetown cardigan, which I wish had a picture of the back. Does that ever bother anyone else when they show you the front of the sweater, they show it on somebody, but they don't actually show you the back? I wish I could see that. But this sweater had the tip of buying your buttons after you make your buttonhole. So then you can determine how big the buttons need to be and get the right size. It's smart to buy buttons after completing the cardigan to determine the best size for your buttonholes. The Santorini pattern on page 141 has a great tip about how to use locking stitch markers to help you count decreases. Marking each bind-off row with a locking ring marker will make it easier to keep track of how many stitches you've bound off. The odds and ends section I thought had a lot of really fun ideas, both the patterns and also ways to construct them. The Black Sea skirt has an elastic waist, which I'm very curious to see how this works with knitted garments. I've done this in machine sewing, so I'm curious to try it out here. Additionally, this pattern has you knit it inside out because the purl part of it is what you see on the outside. So if you knit it inside out, it's done in the round, you can be mostly knitting, making it a faster project to do for most people. And then turning it inside out lets you see the pattern as designed. And there's a second skirt pattern, the Cabrillo, that also has an elastic waistband done in a different way. So I'm curious to compare these 2 waistbands and see if there's one that I like better. There's also a bathing suit pattern in here called the Coco Cabana, which makes it sound fun. And this bathing suit is made using yarn with lycra in it, similar to traditional bathing suits, so it helps it stay on. And I'd be curious to see if working with it is similar to making socks. The last pattern in this book that is very intriguing to me is actually for a beach chair. I cannot pronounce this name, so I'm just going to provide it here for you to see. Maybe you know how to pronounce it already, but I think this is a very cool pattern and uses some interesting techniques. I don't know if I have a beach chair frame that I could put it on, but I'm still very interested in making it, and I would even consider just doing it and turning it into a pillow. The appendix section in this book is pretty small. There is a knitting abbreviations section, which is just 1 page with the abbreviations and written out version of what it is. One thing that's nice about this abbreviation section is that some of them are highlighted in red. The ones that are highlighted in red, there's more information about in the special knitting appendix. There's also a little bio section for each of the contributing designers. I thought that was fun to read through and learn a little bit more about them. I hope you enjoy perusing that. Here's a quick overview of the new to me materials, stitch patterns, and techniques that I want to try out from this book. If there's anything we discussed here that you'd like to see more about or a tutorial, let me know in the comments below. You can also follow me over on Instagram to see some pictures as I work through some of these projects. Thanks for joining. I hope this book gave you some good ideas and that you enjoy knitting through the summer or taking a little break. Happy knitting!